Grill. Good afternoon, evening, everyone, depending on what part of the country you're in. My name is Joe Grill, and you might be seeing me doing these lessons from time to time. I'm an ACBL tournament director and a online club owner and a face-to-face club owner. So, and also a bridge teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into our lesson, and the format that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a couple slides briefly, go over a couple of key concepts that was the theme of today's hands. Then I'm going to go over 3 of our featured hands that we had today, and after that I will take any of your questions about any of the hands you played today, or if you have a general question about the topic, I'm happy to answer it. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start our lesson here. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so today's lesson was on Jacoby transfers. Now, Jacoby transfers happen after partner opens a no trump. And remember that when we're having an auction, there's just 2 questions that we're trying to answer. All we're trying to answer is which strain should we play in, clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades, or no trump, and how high up should we be? That's it. So in the auction, we're just trying to answer those 2 questions. So what advantages are there when partner opens 1 no trump? Well, the nice thing about opening 1 no trump is it very narrowly defines your points and your shape. There's only a few different shapes that we have, and we're 15 to 17 points. So once you've limited your hand, your partner is the captain, okay? It's their job to help steer the ship to the right spot because they know what's in your hand and they can see their own hand. So they kind of know where to steer. So how do we proceed after a no trump opening? Okay, now when partner opens a no trump and you bid 2 diamonds, this says I have at least 5 hearts, and it says partner please bid 2 hearts. When you bid 2 hearts, it says I have at least 5 spades, and it says partner please bid 2 spades. Okay, now I spent a lot of time in the South, and down in the South we have manners, and when partner asks you to please do something, we kindly oblige and we do it. So remember that when partner makes a transfer bid, they're just asking you to please do what they asked you to do, okay? And we're going to talk about what you do next, okay? So rebids we're going to talk about in a little bit, but let's talk about this. So when partner asks you to transfer, you just do it. There's nothing too much to think about. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have only 2 cards in partner's major, you accept the transfer. If you've got 4 cards in the other major, doesn't matter, you accept the transfer. 15 points, 17 points, doesn't matter. You are always going to accept partner's transfer. This really isn't negotiable. Your partner's the one who's in charge because your hand is fully described, okay? Now, what if you missorted your hand and messed up your 1 no bid? Well, then yeah, you better plan on buying lunch Of course, you can't missort your hand on BBO because BBO does it for you. All right, so let's talk about what we do after transferring. Now, partner needs to steer the contract to the correct spot. And this is the part that a lot of people don't get right. Okay, this is the one that we get wrong most often, this part. So after partner transfers, the first thing you need to understand is when you transfer, you could have 0 points. That's the first thing. You're not promising any points. So this 2-heart bid is 0 points to the sky, 0 or more points. And it shows 5 or more spades. That's all it shows. Now the 2-spade bid by the opener, what does that show? Well, it shows absolutely nothing. The 2-spade bid does not clarify the no trump opening hand at all. They bid 2 spades. Why? Because you said please. You said please transfer. Okay, so partner said yes. Of course I'll do what you asked, partner, because you asked so nicely. All right. Now, after partner accepts the transfer, it's your job to clarify your hand. Now, when partner opens a no trump, we tend to put our hand into one of the 3 buckets. And those 3 buckets are part score, invitational, or game. Now, with 0 to 7 points, if partner has opened a no trump, that puts us in the part score category. So with 0 to 7 points and a 5-card or longer major, we're going to transfer. And once partner accepts the transfer, we simply pass. Okay. With 8 or 9 points and exactly 5 spades, we're going to bid 2 no trump next. Partner knows we have 5 spades because we transferred. Rebidding to no says my hand is invitational with exactly 5 spades. I'm going to skip the other invitational bid for a second. With game going points 10 to 15 and exactly 5 spades, we bid 3 no trump. Okay. Now, 3 no trump is actually a choice of game. Okay. It's a choice of game. Partner can bid 4 spades, or they can leave it in 3 no trump. And it's going to depend on how many spades they actually hold. Okay. I want you to notice that with exactly 5 cards in the major, our next bid is no trump. Okay. So the way that you show exactly 5 cards in the major is by bidding no trump as your rebid. Okay. With invitational, it's 2 no. Game going, it's 3 no. Now, if you have 6 spades, we know one thing for sure. We know that spades will be trump. Why? Well, what do we call an 8-card major fit? We call it trump. Now, if partner opens a no trump and you have 6 spades or 6 hearts, you know what the trump suit is already. Because when they open a no trump, they have to have at least 2 cards in that suit. If you're holding 6, you know you have a fit, you know the trump suit. Okay. So with 6 cards, you know the trump suit, and you can raise to 3 spades with an invitational hand. Or if you have a game going hand, you can raise to 4. All right. One other side note here. After transferring, if you bid any other suit, it's natural, it's forcing to game. So in this example, if the south player bids 3 diamonds, this is a natural 2-suited hand. It's showing hearts, it's showing spades and diamonds. So if you bid a new suit, now the south player bids a new suit, then it's showing game going, natural, forcing. Okay, so these are your rebids after transfer. All right. Suteti, do you have a question? You can go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask.
Oh, I was just trying to get attention that we can't see the slides you're speaking about. That's okay.
Can anyone else not see the slides?
No.
I was just following through the notes instead. Thank you.
Well, let me try and share it again.
Yeah, just before you do the hand review.
You see them now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So, common mistakes. When you have a game-going hand opposite a no trump, don't make an invitational bid because the opener could pass. So if you have 10 points or more after partner opens a no trump, don't rebid two no trump or make an invitational bid. Another mistake I've seen, the no trump opener refuses to accept the transfer. Okay, well, what if the responder has 6 of the crummiest spades and not a point in their hand? Well, you probably want to play it in a part score at 2 spades, and if partner does something like bids 2 no trump because they only have 2 spades, well, that's not going to do you any good. Another mistake I've seen, responder will raise with only 5 trumps. Okay, so we don't want to raise with only 5 trump. We've already told partner we had 5 trump. There's only reason to raise the trump suit after partner accepts the transfer is because you have 6. Another mistake, the no trump opener leaves the contract in no trump when they have a major suit fit. As the no trump opener, if you know there's an 8-card or longer major suit fit, don't leave it in no trump. If the dummy has a weird shaped hand, the major is going to play a lot better. Okay. The other mistake I've seen, and this is kind of a small mistake, I guess, is using a Jacoby transfer when you're 5-4 in the majors if you have at least 8 points. Actually, if you're 5-4 in the majors and have an invitational hand or better, you should start with Stamen. It gives you the chance to find a fit in either major. So these are some of the mistakes that you can make when doing Jacoby transfers. Okay. So are there any questions about this before we talk about the practice hands? You can feel free to raise your hand or you can put it Q&A. Katie, you have a question. Go ahead. You can. You have to unmute yourself though.
Sorry. When the a possible rebid is bidding another suit after the transfer is done, does it need to be 6 in the suit? What's the rules on if you were to bid another suit?
Okay, so if you're bidding another suit, it means that you are 2 suited, usually very distributional, and you're actually sniffing around for a slam. Okay, so let me give you an example here of a situation that could come up. So your partner opens a no trump, and you look down at a 12 count. You've got 6 hearts and 6 diamonds, or some very distributional hand in a singleton club. You might want to be in a slam opposite that no trump. And you can explore for slam by first transferring and then making a natural call in your second suit. So you transfer to the major and then you could bid your other suit. It's natural, it's forcing, and it says that, you know, my hand is really probably going to play a lot better in a suit if we can handle it, and maybe even a slam. Okay, so it's not something I would do if I were like 5-4-2-2 shape. It's not quite distributional enough usually. I'm usually at least 5-5 when I do it, and I have serious interest in going to slam if I do it. Okay, does that make sense? It
Yeah.
doesn't come up often, but when it comes up, it's, boy, is it right. Okay. All right. So if there are, we have another question, Paula, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I had the very same question that Katie had, so I was just gonna follow up. So did you say then if after the transfer is made and your second suit is, say, clubs or diamonds, and you've only got 4, so your recommendation is not to bid that second suit?
Probably not, unless you're really interested in the slam.
Okay.
Okay, I would probably just place the contract in 3 no trump, give partner the choice.
Okay, thank you.
Crystal, you have a question?
Yeah, there was one situation where my partner opened one no trump, and I was 5-5 in the majors.
I know the hand, and I will
So
go.
okay, I transferred to the spades and then rebid the hearts,
That is
hoping that to give her a choice of which to play in.
correct.
Is that the correct way to go about that, or should I have transferred to the lower one first?
Transfer to the spades, then I would bid the hearts.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to my other little app here. All right, and I'm gonna go over. Give me 1 second to get everything ready, and I'm gonna go over hands 2, 4, and 5, and then I'll be happy to take any other hands that you had a problem with today. All right, so can everyone see what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
All right, great. All right, so this is hand number 2, and let's have a look at it. So East is our dealer, and East has a nice hand. They have 17 high card points, and they're balanced. So we all know that we start with a 1 no trump opening call here. South will pass. And now the West player hears the 1 no, and they look at their hand and they say, well, what do I have? Well, I've got 11 points. So 11 opposite a no trump opener, we already know the answer to one of our questions. One of our questions is what strain, the other one is how high. We know we want to be in game, but which game do we want to be in? Do we want to be in 3 no trump or 4 spades? Well, we don't know. What we're going to do is we're going to transfer. So this says, partner, please bid 2 spades. All right, now, we don't know anything about partner's spades yet. Remember, partner has to accept the transfer. So, what do? They bid 3 no trump. So remember, when you have exactly 5 spades and game going points, we bid 3 no trump next. This gives partner the choice of game. What game are they going to select? Well, they're going to select spades because you told them you have 5 spades and they have 3 of them. So they bid 4 spades, and that is where we're going to play it. Okay. So that's interesting. It took away my hand. Okay. So what would we lead as the South player against a contract of 4 spades? Well, I'd probably lead the 10 of clubs. It's the top of this kind of interior-ish sequence. Okay. Now, looking at the East-West hands, first thing we do is we count our losers. So we've got 1 losing spade because we're missing the king. We have 1 losing heart. We've got some losing clubs, and we don't have any losing diamonds. So we need to work a little bit on our losers here. So the 10 of clubs really didn't hurt us here, and it didn't give anything away. So I would start off by taking the king, and I'll play a diamond up to the board. Now the south player will duck. And I can try a spade finesse. Okay, so I can try a spade finesse, see if that works. North might duck it. I'll try the jack, and it wins. Well, I know the king is in the north hand. So because I know the king is in the north hand, I know I can pick up that trick. Well, I'm going to wait a little bit. I want to set my hearts up. I'll try the king of hearts. I'll let them take their ace. And now they're in again. They'll probably return a club because partner did lead them. I'll take my ace. And now, because I've set the heart up, I can use it to pitch off one of the losing clubs. Okay, so I've set up a heart. I'll finesse poor north again. I know there's one spade left. I'll go ahead and take it. And now I'm going to play off my hearts. So I'll play off my hearts. And I'm going to drop one of the losing clubs off. Okay? So now you can see that I've got one losing club and I should be able to come home with at least 11 tricks on this one. Okay? So that's probably how I would bid it. That's probably how I would play it.
And Joe, Crystal has a question.
Go ahead, Crystal. What do you got for me?
I think that was from that was from earlier. Sorry.
I'll lower your hand. There we go.
Thanks.
All right. So moving on to number 4. All right. Number 4. So West is the dealer. This time they pick up 17 high card points. Again, they're balanced. So it looks like a fine time to open a no trump. North probably is going to pass. The East player will look at their hand and they say, well, I've got 5 hearts. Oh, I only have 7 high card points. I'll transfer to diamond. I'll transfer to hearts rather by bidding 2 diamonds. Okay. Now, at this point in time, it is possible that the South player could decide to stick their nose into things. Okay. Now, there's 2 scenarios. I'm going to cover them both. Let's take the simple case first. Let's suppose South decides to be quiet and they pass. What do we do with the West hand? Well, I'm going to show you something called super accepting. When you have 4 trumps per partner, and we do have 4 hearts, and a maximum 1 no trump opener, you can actually super accept partner suit by jumping to the 3rd level. Now, what does that do to our hand as East? When partner tells us they have 4 trump and 17 points, how do we feel about our hand now? I feel pretty good. I've got a 9 card heart fit, and all of a sudden, this singleton club becomes a pretty valuable feature. Once I know we're not playing in no trump and we're playing in hearts, this singleton makes my hand worthy of going to game. I was just going to transfer and pass, but partner talked me into it, and I would bid 4 hearts. All right. Now, I'm going to rewind the auction back to South. Suppose South did bid 2 spades. Now, when there's interference, the no trump opener is under no obligation to accept partner's transfer. If they do accept the transfer, they're showing a heart fit, at least 3 of them. And in this case, they're certainly going to accept partner's transfer. In fact, they were willing to bid 3 hearts without interference, right? So the same logic applies to the East player. Partner has shown a heart fit with them because they bid when they didn't have to. So we would still go to 4. So in this particular auction, you are probably going to get a spade lead. Okay, if the South player had took the time to bid the spades, and actually the spade lead is rather convenient. It plays right into West's hand. Okay, so on this one, on a spade lead, we have got no spade losers because we have the opening lead coming into our tennis, our ace queen. We have one club loser, no heart losers probably, and some diamonds to deal with. So this is a lesson in finessing. Now the South player is like, oh, why did I bid spades? Why did you listen to me and lead one? Fine, I'll put in the king and we'll take our ace. So we play a heart and we play another heart. And we're happy to see that the suit has come down. 2-2. Well, that was nice. Now what? Well, we have some finesses we can try. We have a diamond finesse and we have a club finesse. Okay, so we're going to try diamond. And then we're going to play a small diamond up to the queen. Now the North player, if they want, they can have their king now, or they can, take it later. But in either case, the queen is going to be set up for us. Okay. Now we have a losing diamond and we have a losing club. And we're going to be able to make this contract. So the North and South, our defenders, are going to be able to take a club and eventually take one diamond, and we'll bring this one home. Okay, but you see how we have to reevaluate our hand as the East player when we get new information. And when we find out that partner loves hearts, we're very happy. Okay. All right, number 5. All right, so North is the dealer. This time they pick up a 15 count that's balanced. Okay, no trump. Pass. Now the South player, they look down at their hand and what do they see? They've got 8 high card points with a 5 card heart suit. So what bucket do we put this hand into? Well, the bucket we put it into is invitational, right? This is an invitational holding. All right. And what we're going to do is first transfer. So we bid 2 diamonds, which is a transfer to hearts. Partner bids 2 hearts. Now notice how they only have 2 cards. We always accept partner's transfer. Now, invitational hand with exactly 5 hearts. How do we show this? We bid 2 no trump. We bid 2 no trump. Now what does this say? 5 hearts exactly. And 8 or 9 points. So North needs to make a decision. First thing we want to decide is, should we accept the invitation to game? Yes or no? Well, when we partner invites us to a game, how do we decide? We flip a coin? No. We look at our hand and say, well, am I at the top or the bottom of what I promised? You promised 15 to 17 points. We're at the bottom. So unfortunately on this hand, the answer to partner's question is, do you want to go to game? The answer is no. I want to play in a part score. Now, which part score are we going to play in? Well, we know partner has exactly 5 hearts. So we know we don't have a fit. So I'm going to pass 2 no trump. Okay. You are going to pass 2 no trump. And that is what you are going to play. Okay. So, what is the lead going to be from the East player? Well, 2 leads are actually reasonable. You might lead the unbid major suit, spades. You might lead the diamonds because they're better looking. they're a little bit stronger, okay? Either way, the declare is going to struggle to make their tricks on this one, okay? Let's suppose they lead a spade because they lean toward the unbid major, all right? Well, if they play small from the dummy and we go up with the queen, well, the declare is going to grab the first trick in the suit. And actually, that gives them a total of 3 spades if that's the way the opening defense starts. You see that they've got the king and the jack are now tall. So they actually have some time. And what's even better is this spade lead has created something very important to the dummy. It's created an entry. Now, in order to take advantage of this, what suit are we going to go after? Well, I'm probably going to go after the hearts. It's a 7-card suit, and all we're missing in the suit is the king and the queen. If the 2 cards are split, the hearts could be a very good source of tricks. East decides to duck, and we play small. And the West player says, okay, I'm going to take my king. And they continue partner's suit, which they led, the spade. Well, we'll take our king. All right. And now we finesse again. East decides to play low. And now, because the suit actually broke 3-3, if we play a spade up later, we'll pick up the suit. But that's only if you're a very aggressive declare and if you get a spade lead. So a lot of bad things can happen for the declare on this one. They may come in with 9 tricks on this, or they might not. Okay, I think before I play those hearts, I might try a club at this point. All right, if I play it like that, I'll score the queen of clubs in the dummy, and I still have a backup entry for that spade in case I need it. But lucky for me today, the suit broke 3-3. Well, that was a nice thing to have happen, wasn't it? What do I have next? Oh, I'll probably toss a club. I'll throw a diamond. I'll play off my last heart. And I'm actually kind of squeezing myself a little bit in the north here. I guess I'll throw a diamond away. And now I guess I'll set up a diamond. They'll probably take their ace, and they're going to try and work on those spades, set that last one up. What's going to happen on this one? So now we're in, and it looks like the East hand has got 2 tricks in it. Okay, so it looks like the East hand has 2 tricks left in it, and we might, just by the skin of our teeth, make 3-0, but I don't think that it's a good idea to be there. A diamond lead and things might not work out as well for you, okay? A diamond lead may actually make it a lot harder to make it. The spade lead actually turned out to be kind of helpful for us. And if the West player decides not to play the queen of spades on the opening lead, if they decide to hold that queen over the jack, they're going to stop you from getting one of your entries, okay? So it may make this hand a lot harder to make 9 tricks. I think 2-no trump is plenty, okay? All right. Those are our 3 featured hands. I know that somebody had a question about the hand that was 5-5 in the majors. I'm going to find that real quick. Aha. Here she is. All right. So let's talk about how you would bid this hand real quick. West. Well, West is going to pass. North has a balanced 17 count. They're going to open a no trump. Pass by East. South. South has 5 hearts and 5 spades. So the way that I would handle this hand is first I would transfer to spades. Partner will bid 2 spades because they have to. And now I'll come back and I'll bid 3 hearts. Now the 3 heart bid here is natural and game forcing. And in this particular sequence, it really is showing 5 and 5. If we were 5-4 in the majors, we would use Stamen first. We would use Stamen first. In this sequence, we have to be 5 and 5. So which game is partner going to pick? They've got a choice of 3 different games. Hearts, spades, or no trump. Well, partner in the South, we know they're very distributional. And we know they have 5 spades. So we're going to pick spades as our game. Okay? We're going to pick spades as our game. And that's where we're going to play it. And 4 spades is actually looking, pretty good. All right, you should be able to make 4 spades, fairly easily. You have a losing heart and 1 losing spade. Now, this hand has what's called a 2-way finesse in spades. What's a 2-way finesse? Well, you're familiar with 1-way finesse. 1-way finesse would be, for example, if one hand has the ace queen and you're missing the king. Well, there's only one way to finesse it. We're missing the queen in this hand. Either player could have it. And I can finesse either player for it. If I believe that West has the queen of spades, I can lead the 5 towards the king 10. And if I believe that East has the queen of spades, I can lead the 2 toward the ace jack. Now, in this auction, I don't have any clue who has that queen of spades. Okay, so it's kind of a pure guess. All right. This was board number 8. Yes. All right. Katie, if you have a question on this one, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Well, I had kind of a general question. It was about because this happened to me twice now, last week and this week, where my right-hand opponent opened a no trump and I had a no trump opener too. Last week I doubled, meaning it was a penalty double. This time I passed. So do you have any thoughts on what you do when that happens?
Yes. Now, when that happens, you have a couple choices. You can either double or you can be quiet. Those are really your choices, and your partnership agreements are very important. So some people play systems over a no trump opening. When the opponent opens a no trump, they've got different little gadgets to interfere. And in some of those systems, the double is penalty orientated. And in other systems, it means something special. Okay, so it could mean a single long suit, or a couple other different things. So depending on what is available in your system, that's what you would be able to do. I kind of like having a system that has a penalty double available to me. Okay. It's not as important in this game, but it is more important if you ever encounter a weak no trump opener. So not everybody plays 15 to 17 no trumps. Some people tinker around with the range and they make it weaker. And when the opponent opens a 12 to 14 no trump, sometimes it's nice to have a penalty double available. Now, there's a question there in chat. Are those system tools available? Yeah, most of them are. If you're bidding over the opponent's no trump and your call is not strictly natural, it's probably going to require an alert. Okay, it's probably going to require an alert. So they would have to alert you as to what their call means. If it's showing more than one suit, if it's showing not the suit they bid, but something else, these all require an alert. Okay, if your bid is purely natural over a no trump, you don't need to alert it. So if the opponent opens a 1 no trump and you bid 2 hearts and all it means is I have hearts and that's it, then there's no alert required for that. Okay. Noah, you have a question, go ahead. You need to unmute yourself though.
Mute. All
There you
right. My question is, we were taught, our whole club plays that in no trump, when you are the opening leader, you do your fourth highest and your longest, strongest suit. And I notice you guys don't do that.
What do you mean?
So you win the bid and I have to play the first card and your bid is no trump. I play my fourth highest of my longest, strongest suit.
Okay.
And then my partner uses the rule of 11.
All right. So when we're defending a no trump contract and we're on lead, we will it's often a standard thing to lead fourth best from our longest and strongest suit. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, that is not always what you want to do. There are times when you don't do that. There's a couple examples. So if you have a choice, like I showed you a hand when we were in no trump, and I chose to lead a spade rather than a diamond. Okay, and my diamonds were technically a little stronger. Okay, in no trump, if the opponents aren't in a major, it might indicate that they don't have a major. So if there is a slight lean in this game to leading the unbid major suit. Okay.
Okay. All right.
The other time when you don't lead your longest and strongest suit is if it goes 1 no trump, pass, 3 no trump. And you're looking at your hand and you've got 1 point. You've got 5 hearts to the jack. And so you blindly lead fourth best from your longest and strongest heart suit. Right?
Yeah.
Because I've got 5 to the jack, right? Well, let me ask you something. Why do we lead fourth best? What do we hope happens? When we lead fourth best from our longest and strongest suit, what are we hoping is going to happen?
Partner
I
leads
don't
the
know.
deck.
You're hoping to develop tricks in your long suit, right? When you're the
Okay.
declarer, you often go after your longest suit in no trump, right?
Yeah.
Because you can set up tricks in it. Well, when you're the defender, you want to go after your longest suit, so you can set up tricks in it, right?
Yes.
So when you lead fourth best, you're trying to set tricks up. Now, if you've got jack nothing in your heart suit and no other outside cards, even if you get that heart suit set up, how are you going to win those hearts? You've got no entry. Okay?
Yeah.
So in cases like that, you might actually lead your shortest suit.
Oh,
Your
okay.
shortest suit against no trump. Why would you do that? Well, you think about an auction that goes 1 no trump, pass, 3 no trump, and you're sitting there with 1 point in your hand. Who's got the defensive tricks on your side? You or partner?
Partner.
Partner. So what we want to try and do is guess at what partner's best suit is. And partner's best suit is often your short suit.
Right.
So that's a little trick for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
If you're leading against no trump and you are absolutely dead broke, look at your hand and try and guess what partner's best suit is and lead that.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a little tip for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else have any questions or any hands they want to go over? This was fun. I'll be back on Thursday.
Thank you.
And then maybe if you ask Lynn real nicely, I'll come back and do it again. We'll see.
Okay.
Thank
So-
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you Thursday for some special new transfers Joe's going to show you.
That's right.
Cool.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. It was
Good
great.
night, guys.
Thank you.